Today's video is going to be a bit different than the topics that we usually cover, as I don't usually cover Cardano stuff, even though I do hold some. And despite discussing them in previous videos, I've never done a standalone video on a DEX. Cardano's clean and sleeping easy through all this craziness that we've seen, and many holding it don't realize that you can actually put your Cardano to work for you. So today I'm going to explain how you can start farming and earning with Cardano. Let's jump right into it. I'm your host, Chaos Dubs. Thanks for joining me today. Cardano has seen quite the decline over the last couple years and is constantly ripped on by prominent personalities such as Alex Becker, who stated Cardano holders should be ready to insert the sandpaper covered cucumber, a you-know-where. It's totally hilarious, and most things he says are in jest. But on the other hand, there's well-known personalities such as Crypto Capital Venture and Altcoin Daily who tend to be proponents of Cardano, and what Charles is doing, of course, and they offer regular updates to their fans. With this downturn, Cardano is not the only thing that has taken a beating, and I'm sure many of you know it's been a rough time for many of the popular coins, tokens, and we're in a bear market, and some would even call it a crypto winter, so it's kind of to be expected. There is some good news on the horizon though. Early this year, centralized stablecoin USDA and algorithmic stablecoin DJED are expected to debut on Cardano. Through exposure to and implementation of IUSD, Cardano is catching up to and even surpassing some of the other tokens in the sphere with their own stablecoin. Now, before I bore you with the Cardano basics, let's talk about how you can put your ADA to work. There's actually two decentralized exchanges that I know of that operate on Cardano. One is called minswap.org, that's minswap.org, and I don't use this one personally simply because it released after the next one that we're going to talk about. But a quick browse of MinSwap shows a fun cat theme vibe and many pairs, pools, and farms to participate in. I personally don't have any experience using MinSwap, so we're not going to discuss it much today. The other DEX, which we are going to cover in detail, is called Wingriders. Wingriders features a clean and professional looking interface with no distractions, straight to the point, and it's easy on the eyes. I've been using Wingriders basically since it launched on mainnet in April 2022, and not only are they constantly developing and upgrading, this automated market maker DEX hosts its own token, WRT, and over 290 trading pairs. You can find them at wingriders.com. With a total current liquidity at the time of filming of over $10.5 million or over 33 million ADA, Wingriders has secured itself as a place to use your Cardano to enter liquidity pools, farms, swaps, and earn. Of course, none of this is financial advice, and you should always do your own research and never invest more than you're willing to lose. The white paper, light paper, information about WRT token, which is Wingriders token, and more can all be found on the main page of their website. To access the DEX, you need to click Enter App. You'll be greeted with a recent improvements log. The roadmap has been extended due to the plans set in motion, and they have seen faster loading times, community UX and UI improvements, and better readability. Scrolling down will show you past upgrades as well if you're curious. Once you get in the DEX, you'll be placed on the swap page. Here you can swap your Cardano to other tokens within the ecosystem. But first, to do so, you're going to need a supported wallet with ADA to connect to the DEX. Personally, I use either Flint or Ledger, but other options include the Treasure, Nami, Eternity, and Card Wallet, just to name a few. Now, of course, it's always wise to do the research on your token pairs before you provide any liquidity or before you join any farms, and that's because some, such as the MAD pairs, have had a warning on them, and it's if you choose MAD USDT or USDC, you will see a bar appear, and it says due to the Nomad hack, this asset is no longer connected to the underlying ERC20 token and is highly speculative and risky. So always take your time and pay attention to what you're doing. Heading over to liquidity pools, you can see all of the options you have to provide liquidity. ADA WRT is one of the most popular pairs with over 1 million in liquidity and almost 50,000 volume over 24 hours and an APR of 2.96%. Other popular tokens include ADA WMT pair and the ADA C3 pair. Popular pairs tend to have less APY but are less risky, where some pairs may have much higher APY, up over 90% in some cases, and they have much less liquidity and much less daily volume. So of course the risk is going to be much higher. But with over 30 pages of pairs to choose from, you'll surely find something that fits your risk profile, your investment needs, and even some of your goals. To take advantage of liquidity pools, you will require both tokens in the pair. Use your Cardano to make the swap, and make sure you always have Cardano in there for gas, so don't ever swap all your ADA, or any token for that matter. Back up to liquidity on the top, head to the token section to browse each token to see the up-to-date information, charts, transactions, and more. Moving over to the gain tab, click on farming to open up all the farms that Wingriders has to offer. If you have tokens in a liquidity pool, you can use them for farming, but only some pairs can be farmed. Here, you will see many, but not all of the pairs you have already seen, as well as a prominent display of the projected APR earnings for each pool, followed by your deposit amounts, the farm totals, and the next epoch rewards. At the very top, you can also see your total rewards, like over time. Each pair can be dropped down to open more information regarding the farm and your position and rewards. Here's where you can join the farms. Press add liquidity and then move the slider to choose how many LP tokens you want to use. In the ADA WRT example, the current epoch offers a 48% APR and shows that the next epoch will be roughly 46% APR. The current rewards to be distributed equals over 67,000 WRT, and you can see the rewards that you will gain from each epoch, as well as your total rewards and total to be withdrawn. You will also notice the boosting rewards. That's a little feature offered by Wingriders that allows you to further increase your regular gains during every period. By locking WRT tokens, depending on the amount locked, you'll be provided with even more WRT tokens. So this graph here gives you an idea of what to expect for your investment. So 171 WRT locked sees an extra 0.77 WRT, 514 WRT sees 1.34 WRT, and 856 locked WRT sees 1.71 WRT boosting rewards calculated for every epoch. Of course, the suggested amount that they want you to put into the boosting farm there is, of course, the maximum displayed. One good strategy you could use, depending upon how you plan to make use of this platform, is to gain WRT through the farm and then roll it back over into the boosting rewards. Or you could take it and roll it back into other tokens to increase your pair holdings and in turn increase your gains over time. At the very top, you can click to see all farms or just your farms, once you have some, that is. It's much easier to manage when you enable only your farms. Under that, you will see a button for Harvest All, allowing you to harvest all your rewards with just one click and just one transaction. We will come back to this shortly for a real-life example. Before we do, under the Gain tab up top, head over to Portfolio. This is similar to clicking Show Only My Farms and provides a clean view of all your positions on Wingriders. Back to Gain, head to the Staking section. Any ADA you have in liquidity pools is automatically staked to pools. As a provider of liquidity, you have a say in where to delegate your ADA. Click on a pool to open a menu where you can vote. Each one features yet another drop-down menu where you can see information, and you can choose to split up your vote or put it all into one pool. And in the case of the ADA WRT, for example, if one pool is elected, which is literally called one pool, not just any pool, and that's the vote I happen to cast, then the change in stake for holders and LP providers would increase by 10%. Choose each one for each pair that you have a stake in. Back to the Gain tab. Competitions is currently closed, but offers trading competitions and prizes for ranking. And the Governance tab up top has only two options, WRT and Voting. WRT will show you a total of your WRT tokens spread across the platform. If you head over to the voting section, you will have yet another opportunity to have your voice heard. Currently, the vote is to reduce the royalty fee on the Wingrider Raider FTs. Clicking the NFT button will bring you to an NFT marketplace on Cardano, and the community portal will give you access to a forum and a changelog. As I have to do some maintenance on here anyways, let's go through a few things. Usually, I don't like to show my balances, profiles, etc., but in this case, I only have a very small amount on here, and for this example, it works perfect as I'm diversified across 4 pairs. So in this case, I'm heading over to my farms or my portfolio. The first thing I want to do is get all my rewards. So I'm going to open up each pair to see what I'm expected to reap, and then I'm going to click Harvest All. This will save you time and gas fees as it will be a single transaction for everything. Next, I want to check each farm and make sure that they are performing as expected. So let's look at the ADA WRT farm. So as I mentioned, it's very safe and it appears to be performing as expected with a 48% APR and 15 WRT in rewards. The ADA C3 pair is performing a bit below expectations, but it's not doing too bad with a healthy 26 APR and rewards in both WRT and C3. ADA and MKR pair is also performing well with a fantastic 45% APR and rewards in WRT and NMKR. Notice the much lower liquidity on this pair. Less liquidity is higher risk. And finally, we make it to the ADA DANA pair. This pair is performing very poorly, and I should have got out earlier. There's only 12k liquidity on the farm and an APY of only 3.5% and a daily volume of less than $200 US. If you followed this video as we adventure through the DEX, you will have voted on the staking pools under Gain Staking. If you wish to remove a pair, you will first need to remove your vote from there. So you can click to manage vote, then adjust vote and move the slider to 0. Now I'm not 100% sure that this is necessary, but I do it anyway just to be sure. Then you head over to the farm, you choose the pair again, click manage, and again, move the slider to 0. Then you head over to liquidity, pools, and then find your pair there, and again, click manage, choose remove liquidity, and then choose the amount you want to remove. From here, you can then head over to swap, and then freely swap the tokens into other projects, into WRT, back into ADA, whatever you want. It's all up to you. So take some time to read about the DEX, the tokens it offers, and the Cardano ecosystem, and as always, do your own research before investing. I hope this short dip into this killer Cardano DEX has piqued your interest and helps bring awareness and adoption to the Cardano ecosystem. So much good stuff coming down the pipes. I really don't have time to explain it all, but if you haven't seen the groundbreaking XStick interview we did, I'm going to link it for you here. It's absolutely not to be missed. And also the Flare Finance video that I did, it details the disaster they have created, and it's a good one. You ought to check it out. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you all for watching. Chaos Dubs out.